Myco hero will interview you. A mycological hero to tell us your point of view on fungi. Coming up on this episode.
All the year round?
Yep.
That's took me by complete surprise.
I've never had anything like that ever before.
This is where I've been putting my place in.
It's the internet's only mobile moving mushroom game.
They support all that's green.
All that's green.
All that's green.
a great way of putting it. Stroke.
Hairy.
Hairy. Beard. Bearded. I've got a little mouse here. I'm going to test you now. I'm going to test your metal, Archie. Oh, yoo-hoo. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us again for another episode of Meet the Myco Hero. You're laughing, Archie, but you are a hero to me. I'm in the wonderful presence of mycologist Archie McAdam. Archie, thank you. Thanks for joining us today.
Okay.
In fact, thank you for letting me join you. It's your garden, after all, so thank you for that. Archie, you do a lot for fungi and outreach, and I thought we should celebrate a little bit of that today.
Okay.
I'd like to start right at the beginning. When did fungi become on your radar specifically?
That's easy. It was in 1989. My wife Helen broke her ankle that year, and in the autumn when she was walking slowly in the woods with two sticks, we found fungi. At first we found Suillus gravillii.
Yes.
I found that, and we were amazed because it had pores underneath instead of gills.
Yeah, of course.
And that was a big surprise. We'd never known about that.
No.
Well, Helen found this bright yellow beauty, so we went to the local bookshop and we bought this book.
Oh, you still got the book that started it for you. Lovely.
Yeah, we have.
The Mitchell Beasley, Pocket
Excellent.
Guide to Mushrooms and Toadstools. There it is.
It's an excellent book. It had the two that we found in it.
Fantastic. Well, that ticks boxes straight away, doesn't it? Because if you've got your in, because obviously identifying fungi can be so overwhelming as a starting point, and that this relatively small book, that's brilliant. That's lovely that you still own it as well.
Thank you.
Has it got ticks in there as you've gone along? Did you do such a thing?
Some.
Has it?
Has.
Okay. Oh, that's lovely. In terms of, so that was the starting point. When did it become? I'm presuming that most people in a position like yourself, or where I'm just starting my journey, it kind of gets hold of you and you end up in this wormhole, as a friend of mine calls it, where you never stop and you're just in fungi. Yeah. When did it suddenly become a big passion or a real hobby of yours? When did it become a serious interest?
Immediately.
Yeah.
We never looked back.
No.
But that time, in 1989, it was very difficult to get any help. So we wrote to all the universities around Leeds and Liverpool and in Edinburgh to see if anyone could tell us about fungi. And we got a letter back from Roy Watling in Edinburgh.
Oh, yeah.
Who invited us to the cryptogamic garden, which he was setting up with Magnus Magnusson.
All right.
And that was about 1990, 91. And from then onwards, we've both been passionate about fungi.
Fabulous. Now then, what's a cryptogamic garden?
Oh, it was a project in the Royal Botanic Gardens in Edinburgh.
Oh.
They were trying to produce a garden which contained organisms, things that grew but produced spores and not seeds.
Oh, right, okay. And how did they do that?
Oh, they had a place in Edinburgh, in the Botanic Gardens, where they had wood chips and mosses and ferns and stuff like that.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. And that was Royal Watling's project, is that right?
That was a project of the garden, and they invited this fellow Magnus Magnusson to open it.
Yeah, okay, off TV. I know the one.
Right, and so for the whole week that Roy was there, he ran a foray every week.
Every day?
Every day.
Wow.
He ran a foray every day, yeah. And we went on a foray with Roy Watling every day, and those were our first forays.
Oh, you were led by someone pretty special there, because Roy's done a fair old bit as well, hasn't he?
He's very special. Yeah.
He's on my list, I think, for someone I'd love to meet and learn from, because I know he's been a super tutor to a lot of people. So fast forward now a few years, and here you are. I know you're a very modest man, actually, but I'm also aware, I'm sure, haven't you helped translate or even write your own fungi book in the meantime?
Well, I was involved with the producing Stangle. Stangle's a book about fibre caps about inosobe, and it was in German, and a whole lot of chaps translated it into English, and I did some formatting and arranged for it to be published.
Fabulous! That's super. Now, what about your own book? Because haven't you done something of your own as well?
I have. I've written a book to try to help people get fungi to genus. So starting with your toadstool in your hand, try to say which genus it was.
Oh, fabulous, fabulous. And you got that published then?
Yes, yes. When we started, we thought, all we need to know is find the genus.
Right.
But very soon, we want to know a lot more.
Well, it's inherent, isn't it, in fungi publishing that things can soon become outdated, especially with now DNA testing and whatnot. I suppose that's part of the terrain that you cover there.
Yeah.
So that's meeting the needs of the public with your own publishing on a national level. Now, what about on a local level? Because I know you're a member of a few fungus groups. The Northwest Fungus Group, which I'm a member of. And I know that you're very active in the Mid-Yorkshire Fungus Group, aren't you?
Yeah.
What kind of things are involved in that then? Because I know there's always loads of emails bouncing around with you, I know that. What's involved?
A lot of emails, running the email group, but also having little forays. We have a foray every month in this part of the Yorkshire, the Mid-Yorkshire Group catchment area.
And is that a recording, a session you're recording?
And a foraying. It's a small group, but it works. It meets on the first Wednesday every month, all the year round.
All the year round?
Yep.
That's took me by complete surprise. Well then, now, that answers my next question. Off camera, when we had a battery change, I said to Archie, so what do you do during the winter? That lull that you know, mushroom fans and fungi lovers go through this lull of winter time. What are you going to do? He went, fungi. And I said, right, we'll save your answer then, let's keep it fresh. And now already I've got an inkling. How do you do fungi all year round? I know there are fungus all year round, but...
There are fungi all the year round.
But it's thin on the ground, aren't they? So do you just look harder?
No, they are actually there all the year round if you look for them. People stop looking in the autumn, thinking that the season's over when the frosts come, but it doesn't happen.
This is where I'm being put in my place here. This is just showing me up as saying, look, you're not bothered anymore now. The big ones have gone. So you talking about things like resupinates, for instance?
No, and ordinary toadstools, and they work even in the frost. This year, in February, we had a foray in frost, and we found toadstools. The heads fell off. We brought them back here, and they dropped spores.
That's fabulous, isn't it?
It is fabulous.
So that's a lesson to all of us, that fungi is all year round. Get your thick socks out. There's no excuses now. We've heard from the master. Wow, well, fancy that. So Archie, what is it about fungi generally that you find just so intriguing? Because you said you were addicted from the start, like many of us are. Yeah. What is it that's so intriguing for you? Well,
first of all, the beauty. They're just lovely, and beautiful colours, beautiful shapes, lovely smells, and they do so much. You know, they support life in so many ways. They support all that's green that we see about. Is all supported by fungi.
I love that, just that quote there. Never thought of it as that before. I know they're vital to the ecosystem, but all that's green.
All that's green.
A great way of putting it. That.
Well, 95% of what's green anyway is supported by fungi.
Wow.
And of course they show themselves in fairy rings and brackets and stuff on trees and these shapes here, they're all sorts of different shapes and sizes.
They're a fascinating thing.
They are absolutely fascinating. What they do in recycling the woods, all the litter and the woods that they rot away, and all the decomposing that they do, and the recycling. They're recyclers.
Well, there's a good one, agents of decay I've heard them called, or soil magicians, because of course they are vital. And one of my favourite facts that's not my own, none of these things are my own, I'm just regurgitate better people's quotes than my own, but that we'd have to literally swim to work every day in leaves, you know, we'd be up to here wading through, because where does all the leaf matter go if it wasn't for the fungi and the hordes of them doing their job?
And they do lots of other jobs. I mean, we have fungus products that we eat and we interact with all the time, and antibiotics, all sorts of stuff. Fungi are absolutely amazing.
Yes, they are. I agree. I'm with you on that one.
Yes,
I'm with you on that. What about a favourite genus? If we're talking about mushrooms or fungi when we're out and about looking for them like you do, have you got a favourite genus?
Not really. I mean, they're all fascinating in their own way. Perhaps Mycena, because it's interesting under the microscope. But every genus is magnificent.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to have to go off camera so it might cut back. I've got a little mycena. I'm going to test you now. I'm going to test your metal, Archie. Right, I nipped off to get this. I'm back in, I'm plugged in again, and I'm being very mean because I don't know how hard this is or not. I'm not very good at mycena. What do you think, Archie? I've got one just for you there.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's gorgeous. You're right. First of all, let's appreciate its beauty. Let's not worry about a name. It is a beautiful
It's a
thing.
beautiful one.
Doing its job there on that little piece of...
And it's got a slightly olivaceous colour.
Yes.
And the stem's a little bit violet, perhaps.
Yeah, I'd have that.
It's an easy one.
Oh, good. Good.
It's the Archangel.
Oh.
It's Mycena archangeliana.
Is that something to do with the coloration on the cat?
No, that's the name of it.
Okay.
But it's a wood rotter, and it's got these. It's absolutely characteristic.
Oh, this one. So I've got you a good one. I've got you a good one.
Yeah.
Well, there we are. Want some learning for all of us there. We'll have to have a little close-up maybe later, and we can all know the Archangel bonnet. What a beautiful thing that is. Thanks, Archie. You passed the test. Well done.
Thank
and
you.
on camera too. That's good, isn't it? That's good. Have you had a recent find that you were particularly pleased with? You know, if you think, oh, fancy coming across that.
Well, the thing is that every time we go on a foray, we find something that we never saw before. That's the first thing.
Can we just pause for a moment there? Just think about that. And that's what really is amazing about fungi. For anyone who's just starting out, it's phenomenal to think that you might not ever find, well, you won't ever find them all in your life. I mean, there are thousands of species in the UK alone, and that you're still going out every month of the year and still finding new things. That's what makes it exciting for me. That's brilliant. It's a great premise.
Well, there's so many. In Britain, there are 14,000 different fungi, so we're not going to ever see them.
No.
But the last fungi that last foray we went on, we found one that's very rare. We think there's only been 8 ever found before.
What was it? I need to ask. What was it?
It was neolentinus. It was a neolentinus.
I don't even know what that genus is.
Yes, it's an unusual genus, and I've never seen one before.
Wow.
But that was surprising. But that's what happens on forays.
And I presume you have to be with someone who knows enough to know that we might be going down that route of what you found.
No, you just have to find it and then examine it at home. You can't do it in the field.
Right, okay, yeah, super stuff, super stuff.
I don't know this one, you say. I don't know this one.
Yeah.
I'll have to find out.
I love that. And then the next part begins, doesn't it? The next chapter of those ID skills. Have you got a particular habitat that gets your heart rate up? If you see it, you think, ooh, I'd like to have a little potter in there, see what I might find.
Not really, because every habitat's different and every habitat's a possibility. And when we go on a foray, we pass places that are hot spots one time and nothing there the next time.
That's a good lesson, isn't it? I once went to a place that just looked perfect. Big, there was literally the big 4 all there. Big pine, birch, oak and beech. I thought, fancy, look, I can't wait. And it had nothing there.
Yeah.
But a friend told me, said, well, don't ever presume that that's what it looks like all the year round.
Yeah.
You just might not be at the right time. So yeah, that's a good one about habitat, isn't it? And what about myco heroes for you, Archie? Have there been inspirational people and mycologists that have helped you along your journey?
Oh yes, well Roy, I mentioned Roy Watling. He's been a friend and a mentor ever since I first met him back there in the 90s. But there was a man called Jack Marriott who was a very helpful person for beginners when I began. So Jack Marriott and Roy are my 2 foray heroes.
Oh, that's fab.
And Alec Henrici helps me identify things like the neolentinus.
Oh, I see. Okay, has he got a specialism then? I've heard his name very much.
Yes, he lives and works in London near Kew.
Oh yeah.
And so, and he's very knowledgeable.
I think you'd have to be to get through those doors, don't you? So it's a long way off the distance for me. Archie, thank you I was going to say thank you very much. I've got one final question. Would you be willing to play some games with me, Archie?
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
The fungi games?
Oh, well, maybe then.
Okay, super. Let's move on to the games. It's the internet's. Oh, let me just practice then. The internet's only moving mobile moving game. Well, look at what we've got here. It's the internet's only mobile moving mushroom game. That's right, it's the Travelator. And Archie's really ready for this. He's really cranked up. He's absolutely biting, chomping at the bit. Here we go, Archie. You're off.
Okay, I'm ready. Oh, that's Piptoporus speculinus, the birch polypore. And this is the. Oh, that one looks like. I can't get it.
Okay. Here's the brother of that one.
Helvella crispa.
Super.
Caprinus atramontarius.
Wow, fantastic.
Hygrophoropsis aurantiaca. Foliota squarosa.
Look, he's in a roll now. He's on a roll. Toughen.
Is sanguinaria or quilletii.
Yes, look at this. This one's tricky. This isn't very nice of me.
It looks like what's it? The Miller. It looks like the Miller to me, but it's probably something else. Oh, Daldinia concentrica.
Yeah.
And the Mycena.
Okay, our other game for today, never been tried before. Ooh, it's special, you're learning with us, is Mime the Mushroom. Now, we're both busy. This is a competition between mentor, hero, and learning boy. So what we're going to do is I've asked a member of the crew to come and act out a mushroom, or fungus, using a list of, I've got them here, a list of fungi names. I've not looked at it. I got my dad to print this out for the crew, so I don't know what's on that list. No anticipation. And he's going to try and act out the mushroom, and we've got to guess what it is he's acting out. Now, we'll do this as a little disclaimer, because this isn't really very fair. Archie has this phenomenal foundation in Latin names, and I've come along as the new boy, learning all the common stuff, so it might actually be unfair to you, this, so let's see who wins. Okay, we'll see who can win the most. Here we go. I'm ready when you are. We're off. 2 words. First word. Sour, bitter. Second word. Bitter dancer, bitter disco. Bitter movement, bitter dance. First word, bitter, sour.
Sour.
Is it not bitter? Sour. Lemon, lemon disco. I should have got that from the disco. Lemon disco.
Lemon disco.
Did you know that one, Archie?
Afterwards.
2 words. First word. Chin. Stroke.
Hairy.
Hairy. Beard.
Hairy.
Bearded. Bearded milk cap. No, keep going. Second word. Bearded cap. Bearded black cap. Bearded field cap. Yay, nice actions. Bearded field cap. It's having to look at the list because you wouldn't know the first thing about fungi. Go on. 2 words again. First word. Armpit, arm, pit, pitted beard. Pitted beard hair.
Hairy, no.
Hairy. Second word. Oh, free fall. Falling. Parachute. Hairy parachute. Yeah, that was a good action.
That's a good one,
yes. 2 words. First word. Swing. Swinging.
Fishing.
Oh, broomstick. Witches. Witch.
Which?
What will it be? Witches.
Which is broom. Which is broom.
There's witch's broom. There's the birches and the. It's witch's butter. Okay, yeah.
Butter, yes.
Witch's butter. 2 words. Fishing. Clubbing. Club.
Hammer.
Club. Second word.
Foot. No. Club foot.
The club foot.
Club
Yeah.
foot,
Club
yeah.
foot. Brilliant. Great job. Give him a round of applause. Well done there. Thank you, sir. Thank you for doing that. That's very good. Very good. Oh, I quite enjoyed that.
That's very good. Well, you did that very well. Yeah.
I think I do
Thank you.
advantage. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. Okay, we've come to the end. Thank you, Archie. What a pleasure. What a real, genuine pleasure. Listen, what you don't know is that there's a leaderboard. This is a proper Myco hero tournament. Can we bring in the leaderboard, please? Thank you. Here it is. There's the leaderboard, Archie, you see. And at the moment, Irene Ridge has smashed it. She's right up there at the top.
Wow.
Obviously against no one so far, so she would be leading, let's be honest. Archie, you've come in now to challenge that position. Now, here's the disclaimer. At the moment, I haven't got a clue how to tot up those points. We've not got to that point. So, do you know what? Of judgment alone, I reckon you're right up there, side by side. You're equal level pegging points.
Excellent.
Archie McAdam right beside Irene Ridge there, where he deserved to be, I reckon. Okay,
That's very
super.
good.
But it doesn't finish there. That's our leaderboard. What I'd like to share with you now is a little something, because you are, Archie, to me and many other people, a Myco hero. I've got your little trophy here.
Oh, goodness.
You're a Myco hero, Archie McAdam 2018.
Oh,
thank you
you.
very, very much. Thank you, Archie.
Thank you.
That's for you to
That's
keep.
wonderful. Oh, I've never had anything like that ever before.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine. But do you know what? It doesn't even stop there. Here's the real moment.
What's this
A little bit like, this is how I like to think of these things. A little bit like the Blue Peter badge, the prestigious award. I've got a little badge here you can choose from.
Oh, that's
And you
very
can,
nice.
and it says here, I found fungi with the fungi guy,
Okay.
which we did, of course.
Right.
White, orange, pink, or green. You can choose.
Orange, please.
There it is. It's yours to keep. That's to keep.
Oh, that's
all right.
wonderful. All this to keep.
Yeah, all that's yours, Archie. Thank you so much for everything you've done. What a lovely day. Thank you very much, Archie. A little wave to camera. Archie McAdam, ladies and gentlemen.